Do you want to know how truly heartbreaking conversations start in a long-term care planning context? It starts with a person coming into my office and saying, "But I thought that I could give away $16,000 to each of my children in a given year and not have any consequences." If that person were asking me a tax question, then that would be the answer. Yes, $16,000 per recipient per tax year. But in the case of long-term care planning, the answer is very different, and the person asking that question probably has a real mess on their hands. I'm Patrick Cawley with Keystone Elder Law, and I want to tell you about a client who came in recently who is unfortunately common in my experience. The adult child of a father in a nursing home came in to see me because the father was going to need long-term care and didn't have a whole lot of money left in his bank account, so was probably going to need Medicaid to pay for that long-term care. Otherwise, it's $11,000 a month at least. So they wanted to do some Medicaid planning, and they told me that Dad got that advice about giving away up to $16,000 per child per year, and did that, gave away large sums of money each year for the last 4 years. Well, now father has very little money to pay for care and has a huge gifting problem. The 5-year look back means when you apply for Medicaid, they look through every line of your bank statements for 5 years previous to the application, and they look at your tax records, and they want to see if you were giving away money. So you're not allowed to give away $16,000. You're not allowed to give away really anything. The cap is about $500 a month total to all recipients. So when Medicaid sees this man's application for Medicaid, they're going to see tens of thousands of dollars in gifting. And what they'll do is they'll compute a period of time based on the gift that he gave over the last 4 years. And what they will be figuring out is the number of days he has to go private pay at the rate of $11,000 or more a month before Medicaid even kicks in. Well, if he's already depleted his assets by giving it away, he created a penalty that he can now not pay for. In most cases, when this gifting is done, the adult children have already spent the money. That's a real pickle, because if father needs care, he has to stay in the nursing home. Medicaid's not paying. He has no money to private pay for his care. They're coming after the children, and the law in Pennsylvania allows them to file lawsuits against the children. So the 5-year look back is very important. What we're talking about are gifts of any amount over $500. We're talking about adding somebody to the deed of a house. That's a gift of 50% of the value of the house. That's an enormous gift. We're talking about putting somebody else on a bank account in the last 5 years. All of this will be gifting in the 5-year look back. This applies as well to trusts, which are a very powerful tool to plan ahead for Medicaid and to shelter assets and protect them for your family or your spouse who's going to have money to live on if you go into a nursing home. But that too is a transfer of an asset out of your name, and you're not getting anything in return. So those trusts have to be set up preferably 5 years before you would ever need to apply for Medicaid. You know, there are some solutions to this problem. They get a little technical for the purposes of a short video, but for example, if you want to give money to your kids, but you think you might be within a few years of applying for Medicaid for long-term care, you can have a caregiver agreement. You can pay them for something that you will actually get a service out of, or you're getting help. So you can pay them to help you with the lawn, with preparing meals, with doing laundry, with helping you get dressed, with any kinds of household daily activities. So you're paying them, you're giving money to them, but you're keeping a record, and you have a written agreement and a log of the care that was provided. That's all allowed, and that's a way to transfer money and not worry about the 5-year look back. And that's just one example. There are other ways to think this through, and if you have questions about the 5-year look back, this can cause serious problems for a family. Legal problems, financial problems, and all the rest. So please shoot me an email at info@keystoneelderlaw.com or leave a question or comment for us on this video, and I'll get back to you with an answer.